Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Becoming a parent? It's like being thrown into a whole new world. A beautiful, messy, and sometimes confusing world. Especially when your little one is trying to communicate with you. But all they have are these adorable yet mysterious cries, coos, and gestures. It's like they're speaking a language you're just starting to understand. But here's the thing. Every single sound, every little movement means something. It's their way of telling you exactly what they need. And as parents, our job is to listen closely and learn to decipher those cues. So think of this video as your crash course in baby communication. Welcome to our guide on deciphering your baby's secret language. In this video, we'll explore 18 key insights to help you understand what your baby is really trying to tell you. Okay, let's start with the basics. Hunger. It's probably one of the most frequent things your baby will try to communicate. Remember that adorable reflex where your baby turns their head towards anything that touches their cheek? That's called rooting, and it's their way of searching for food. And then there's sucking, another natural instinct. You'll notice it when they start sucking on their fingers, their hands, or even their blankets. Next time you see your little one rooting or sucking with gusto, it's a good bet that a feeding is in order. There's nothing quite like hearing those first sweet coos from your baby. But those coos are more than just cute sounds. They're your baby's way of engaging with you. It's their way of saying, "Hi there, I'm here, and I'm ready to connect." Responding to those coos is one of the best things you can do to encourage their development. Talk back to them, sing them a song, make eye contact. It doesn't matter what you say, just keep the conversation flowing. You'll be amazed at how quickly those coos turn into babbles and eventually into words. Sometimes your baby's body language will tell you they're not feeling their best. If you notice your little one arching their back, especially during or after a feed, it could be a sign of discomfort. It might mean they're dealing with gas, reflux, or maybe they're just not loving their current position. Try burping them more frequently during feedings, or if you're bottle feeding, experiment with different bottle types or positions. Sometimes a simple change in position is all it takes to ease their discomfort. Those tiny fists can actually tell you a lot about what's going on in their world. Often, clenched fists are a sign of hunger. It's like their way of saying, "I need to eat, and I need it now." But clenched fists can also be a sign of stress or overstimulation. If their fists are clenched and they're showing other signs of hunger, like rooting or sucking, then it's probably time for a feed. But if they're clenched while they're trying to fall asleep, or during a particularly stimulating activity, it might be a sign that they need a break. As parents, we dread hearing our babies cry, especially that strong, intense cry that seems to pierce your heart. It's important to remember that crying is your baby's primary way of communicating, and this type of cry usually means they're in distress. It could be something as simple as a dirty diaper or needing a cuddle, but sometimes it could be a sign of something more serious, like pain from gas, teething, or even an underlying health issue. If your baby's intense cry persists and you can't seem to soothe them, trust your instincts and reach out to your pediatrician for guidance. Now let's talk about that low-level, fussy cry that can sometimes drive parents a little crazy. This type of cry often means your baby is uncomfortable. It could be something as simple as a wet diaper, a room that's too hot or too cold, or maybe they're just feeling a little overstimulated and need a break from all the action. The key here is to try and play detective. Check their diaper, adjust the temperature, offer a cuddle, or maybe try a change of scenery. Sometimes a little trial and error is all it takes to figure out what's bothering them. Baby gas. It's a common culprit behind many a fussy moment. If your little one seems squirmy and uncomfortable, especially after a feeding, chances are they're battling some trapped gas. You might notice them pulling their legs up to their chest, clenching their fists, or even letting out those adorable little grunts. Gentle burping during and after feedings is key. You can also try some tummy time, gentle bicycle kicks with their legs, or a warm bath to help things move along. And of course, a good old-fashioned belly rub never hurts either. Those early smiles from your newborn? Pure magic, right? But here's the thing. Those first smiles are often what we call reflex smiles. They're involuntary and can happen while your baby is sleeping or even just stretching. But as your baby gets older, usually around 6 to 8 weeks, you'll start to see something truly special, a genuine social smile. This smile is reserved just for you. It's their way of saying, I recognize you, I love you, and I'm so happy to see you. And trust me, once you see that real deal smile, you'll know the difference. It's a moment you'll cherish forever. In those early days and weeks, it's easy to get caught up in wanting to show your baby the world and shower them with love and attention. But sometimes, all that stimulation can be a bit overwhelming for their developing senses. If you notice your little one looking away, squinting, or even covering their face, it's a good sign that they're feeling overstimulated and need a break. Dim the lights, reduce noise, and maybe try some gentle rocking or shushing. Sometimes, all they need is a little time to reset and recharge. A yawning and rubbing eyes. They're not just for adults. These are classic signs that your baby is tired and ready for a nap. Learning to recognize these early sleep cues is key to preventing those dreaded overtired meltdowns. If you see your little one yawning, rubbing their eyes, getting fussy, or even pulling at their ears, start their bedtime routine or create a calming environment for them to drift off to sleep. Ever been startled by your baby's sudden jerky movements? That's the Moro reflex, also known as the startle reflex, and it's a perfectly normal response in newborns. It usually happens when they're startled by a loud noise, a sudden movement, or even just the feeling of falling. The Moro reflex usually fades away after the first few months of life. In the meantime, swaddling can help your baby feel more secure and less likely to startle easily. Let's talk about spit up, shall we? It's one of those parenting experiences that seems to go hand in hand with burp cloths and laundry. The good news is that a little bit of spitting up is perfectly normal, especially in the first few months. But if your baby is spitting up frequently, forcefully, or if it seems to be causing them discomfort, it's a good idea to check in with your pediatrician. There's nothing quite like the feeling of holding your baby close, skin to skin. It's not just comforting for them, it's incredibly beneficial for both of you. Skin-to-skin contact helps regulate your baby's temperature, heart rate, and breathing. It also releases oxytocin, the love hormone, which strengthens the bond between you. So, whenever you can, make time for those cozy cuddles. Hearing your baby grunt and strain, especially during those early diaper changes, can be a little alarming. Babies are still figuring out how to use their muscles for bowel movements, so a little grunting and straining is totally normal. However, if your baby seems to be in distress, or if the grunting is accompanied by other symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, or a fever, it's best to err on the side of caution and contact your pediatrician. As your baby gets older, you'll notice them becoming more and more curious about the world around them. They'll start reaching out, grabbing, and exploring everything within their reach. Encourage their curiosity by offering them toys to grasp, books to explore, and plenty of opportunities to interact with you. Ever notice your baby getting really into repetitive movements like kicking their legs or waving their arms? These repetitive movements are actually an important part of their development. They're strengthening their muscles, coordinating their movements, and learning about cause and effect. When your baby nuzzles their head into your chest, it's more than just a sweet gesture. It's a powerful sign of love, trust, and security. Nuzzling releases endorphins, which have calming and pain-relieving effects. So the next time your baby nuzzles in close, savor the moment. Have you ever noticed your baby just quietly observing the world around them, their eyes bright and alert? That's what we call the quiet alert state, and it's a prime time for interaction. This is a great time to make eye contact, talk to your baby, sing songs, or read books. As you navigate the incredible journey of parenthood, remember that every baby is unique. What works for one baby might not work for another. But there's one universal truth. Your baby is constantly communicating with you, even before they can speak a word. By paying close attention to their cues, their cries, their coos, their movements, and their expressions, you'll learn to understand their needs and build an unbreakable bond. Remember, every child is unique, so trust your instincts and enjoy the journey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more parenting insights.